Welcome everybody to the All Bullshit Aside podcast with Mr. Bear. This is my co-host Edie.
Hi everyone.
So this is episode 8, and today we're going to talk about the dating world. We're going to talk about everything that I encountered when I was out there dating, and I'm going to ask Edie some of the stuff she's seen. I know a lot of you females are going to be interested in hearing that. So Edie, what do you I don't know. You want to ask me? You want me to ask you?
Let's start with you since I've barely started dating again.
All
so about dating apps, tell us some stories that you experienced.
Dating apps, horror stories. Yeah, I got a nice little small Cinderella stories, but then a lot of horror stories. First things first, ladies. I understand that you have to do. Well, you don't have to, I guess. Wow. You like to do these filters. I'm new to this, but look, if you're going to go on a date with somebody, like, you have to understand that he's going to see you for who, you can't take the filter on the road. You're going to come into a place. So that's one of the things that I noticed. And I get it, it's cool. Women love to do selfies. They want to take pictures. They want to see how their makeup is, their hair, and this and that. I know, I see it all the time. I see my girlfriend doing her little checkups or whatever on her phone. It's all good. But you have to understand that if we're chatting on an app or whatever, and, I see a picture of you, you see a picture of me. And if this thing goes well, we're going to finally meet. Do you understand that I'm going to see you like as you are, right? Even with makeup or whatever. So that was some of the stuff I encountered, like they would show up and it wasn't the person I was talking to.
Okay.
I mean, it was the person I was talking to, but the face did not match. You know what I mean? Like,
it was that bad?
It was that bad.
Wow.
That was bad.
So I don't mean to say that bad, but I mean, was one person or two, were they just totally different?
Totally different.
Wow.
Like night and day. And, I'm like, well, we're here already. Let's go have a drink. Let's go eat, talk, whatever.
5 more drinks and you'll look like the app.
No, I don't. Trust me. Well, the more you drink, the more, courage you get to do other shit. But that's another podcast. But,
so they really look that different.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. How did you deal with that when you actually sat down with them?
Mentally, I was like, oh, fuck. All right, cool. I'm still going to be a gentleman. I'm still going to buy you dinner. You're already here. And, granted, some of these people were driving from far.
Right.
Sometimes an hour away.
Here's a gas cart.
I'm like, all right, cool. A lot of meeting halfways, you know what? I'll drive to you. So, I mean, do you want me to share a story?
Yeah,
I'll give you one that's never gonna leave my mind. Actually, I have two. So, met a girl. She when I first got on the dating app, it was what was it? It was
Match.com.
It was supposed to be a decent one. You pay monthly subscription, and it's supposed to be like a little higher quality females. I guess that's what they told me. I don't know if it's true. But it's like, if you're paying for this, it's because you're serious.
Right.
You want to meet a person, whatever. The one thing I would find myself catching was a lot of it's like an interview.
Right.
A lot of that, like, you're talking, you can tell when somebody's talking to someone else. They're messaging you and then they're messaging someone. It's all right.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I always felt like those same questions. What do you do? Do you have a house? Do you rent? I get it. A lot of females don't want to be with the guy that they feel is probably still with his mom or whatever. Right. But you don't know the situation. What if I'm over here trying to save money? What if I have a property or whatever?
Right.
But I noticed that there was a lot of that. You have a car. Okay, what do you do for a living? And I guess what I do is obviously considered great or decent. Buy my own vehicle, whatever. I was like not, afraid of going on having a good time or having a good whatever.
You were financially okay.
Yeah. So that was one of the things I noticed, and for me that was a turnoff. Like you know,
really?
Yeah.
For the girl to find out
it
about
was a turnoff because it was like, well, I mean, you want to get to know me, you want to get to know if we can hang out, or I mean, what is it? I don't know. Sometimes it came across as very in a good, polite way, and I was like, all right, we'll see. For me, it was like, hey, if you have a job and you're doing your own thing, cool. You don't expect a sugar daddy. Don't expect some guys going to come out, just providing and all. So we're not in that era anymore.
Right,
That's done. I'm sure there's a lot of females out there that still have that because whoever they married or whatever. But yeah, I would notice that a lot of those questions and whatever. I guess it's because of the territory. But So this one time, so I met this girl. She was the closest girl to me. I live in Granada Hills. She lived in Silmar. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, so we just chatting for about a week. Just chatting on the app.
Yeah.
Eventually, she gave me her number. Oh, and I started talking to her. 3 weeks later, we went on one date. And when I picked her up, it was a whole different thing. So the person that I was seeing on the app, you know, all her pictures, you know, she had 2 kids. She was a nurse. Everything I saw was cool. You know, she seems like a great person, a mom and everything.
Right.
And when I picked her up, I was like, okay, she did look different. Her
So
face.
the filter was okay.
So I was like, all right,
first
cool,
red
whatever.
flag.
Yeah. But then she turned into this little child. It was
On the first date?
On the first day, she was like a child. Like I was with the 14-year-old or something. It was creepy.
Was she shy?
The way she was talking, she was acting shy and everything.
Okay.
It was just creeping me out. Nothing matched.
Wow.
Nothing matched. The voice, everything, the way, you know, I try to compare it to the messaging.
Wow.
I thought I was dealing with a mature woman. I was dealing with a child. She was a diehard Dodger fan, so I couldn't even say nothing negative about them. She would get really upset. I'm like, damn, you love them that much. I'm like, I love the Dodgers, but you were like really like upset. And like, if, oh man, they suck today. Hey, I'm like, whoa.
You were just, yeah.
And you know, whatever, little things. But on our first date at dinner, she was just fidgety. Like she had her hands underneath her butt the whole time. And I was like, what is wrong with her? What is this? like it was just bad. Wow. So I think she picked up on that, right? We had dinner. I dropped her off at her house because she lived nearby. And within 30 minutes, I got a text message. It said, I take it there's not going to be a second date. And I go, yeah, I don't think so. You know, for me, I have a hard time like being really like
real,
like with the female, truth. Like just like, oh, I want to like
be nice.
Yeah, like how do I say politely? You're a fucking creep. You know what I mean?
Like,
gosh. I couldn't.
Well, okay.
So that person I never saw. Actually saw her not that long ago. While I was on a date with my current girlfriend. Saw her at a place, but it was like just a quick like glance, like, oh shit, that's so and so, and then that was it.
So if she's watching, what would you tell her though? I mean,
hope she's not watching.
Well, I mean, at least.
Well, I didn't say her name. It could be anybody.
It could be anybody. Yeah. But what would you want to say? Since you know,
be real. Look, okay, if you're gonna be on an app trying to find a guy, be honest. Don't make yourself look different. Like, you know, I get it. You want to look younger or whatever the app does or the filter does, or you know. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna meet up with this person, right. And if you're interested, right, and just, you know, I don't care if a female has no makeup or, you know, like be real. You know, if this thing goes far, I'm going to see you eventually, you know, like right. Your most, you know, natural. Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the things.
With her being nervous though, because I tend to laugh a lot. That's just me. I mean, and
that was another thing that threw me off.
Make me laugh right now. I've always been that way. And I don't, if it could be a nervous thing, but I always find myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, or I'll start playing with my hair. And then,
I think that's every girl.
But I don't sit on my hands to, you know.
Yeah, that was creeping me out. And then swinging her legs back and forth. Like, I'm like, this is creeping me out. Like, like this is kind of weird. And yeah, it just.
Maybe you made her nervous. You were just.
Probably. You know what? Now, I mean, this was the first date. Was it? Yeah, it was like the first date on the app.
For her?
For me.
Oh, for you.
For me.
Okay.
She was talking to me on the phone like she's done this before. Like she was just a pro.
But not in person.
Not in person. And you know what? I did notice that she was very interested in my story as far as what did your ex do and this and that. And I'm like, at times I was like, are you just in this for like the chisme? Or are you like, you know, but you know what? I'm not going to lie. There is a lot of people out there that know more. You know, they're probably looking at me and I'm like, yeah, I know everything about your ex. But that's my fault for venting and sharing a lot of stuff, you know? And you know what? One thing is for sure that I never said this before, I actually met up with someone that actually works with her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
On a dating app?
Yeah. I met somebody on a dating app.
Wow.
That actually knows my ex, works in the area she works in, and works very close with her.
It's not her friend. Was she her friend?
It's not a friend.
Co-worker.
It's just a person that works in the building. Okay, well. And I felt like, oh, shit. But this was after the fact. This was after. When I kind of explained my story, I never said a name. I never said anything. This person either must have seen a picture of me at one time in my ex's desk or something, but she named her. I'm like, and I said, listen. She goes, no, you're fine. But then I felt like, what if this goes south?
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? I'm like, no, this thing it didn't go past the first date. And when it was a first date, just kind of meet up, drinks. And after that, we kind of figured, this is, and then at the same time, I was already trying to get out of it because I'm like, I can't date somebody that works with my ex, because it's going to be very awkward.
Oh my gosh.
Or you're going to be kind of like giving her that look like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how girls are. Girls could be kind of crazy sometimes. Yeah, I ran into that. I ran into that a lot.
Wow.
A lot of people, I know who your ex is. I'm like, shit. It didn't matter at the end of the day, no matter how much I try to protect that part of it.
Right.
People are going to put two and two together. Even on TikTok, I ran into people that would literally tell me, I know her. I went to school with her. And they'll tell me, I hate her. I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow.
So she must have done other shit back in the day. But I ran into that a lot. And it got kind of nerve-wracking because I'm like, well, this is part of the, this is part of life.
Process,
this is it is what it is. Sooner or later, people are going to recognize me and like, okay. But I did know, I two people that lived in her city at the where she was raised reached out to me and I think wanted to kind of just hang out just for that.
Wow.
Just to kind of, I don't know if that.
To get back at her?
Yeah, kind of thing. Like, because in where she's from, it's a small little town. And word would spread right away. And that was one of the things I noticed. Like all of a sudden, a lot of people from those little towns were following me. And hey, are you so-and-so? Were you? I'm like, oh, shit. What do I do? Right. Can't say no. Right. But yeah, that's me. But I always try to be as respectful as possible. But, you get to a point where, fuck, you can't be that respectful. It's like if people are telling me what kind of human being you were before I married you. Yeah. It's like they know your true
where were
colors,
you before I married you?
Yeah, like, person. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, hey, stop it. But yeah, another thing I ran into was I dated somebody. This was like the longest date person I dated was early last year. Somehow somebody threw me messages through TikTok. Somebody knew her family, and send me pictures of her and the guy that she was engaged to.
This is. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. This is the one that you were dating?
I was actually dating her, and I actually had posted a picture one day. So this person, everything was okay. It wasn't. I didn't feel for this person what I feel for my girlfriend now. It's a whole different thing. Right. And it was just, I don't know. Maybe at that moment I was just kind of like, you know what I mean? It's
you weren't
cool.
ready. You were just, yeah.
So she wasn't making me feel that like, that real love. But yeah, I was already getting this weird intuition, and somebody actually sent me Facebook pictures of the guy that she, I guess, just broken up with like 2 months before she met me.
Oh, wow.
And in one of those pictures, she's wearing an engagement ring. So I was like, dude, come on.
And she didn't tell you this?
No.
Oh, wow.
She told me that the guy was a boyfriend for a year ago. I'm like, cool. But I was thinking, even if you were engaged a year before meeting me, you're not ready. You're not. And you came from a 20-year marriage that you got divorced from. So I tried to put like, oh, wow. Yeah, it was too much. Yeah. So that I was like, okay, is somebody hating? Or are you really giving me facts? And it turned out it was somebody that knew the whole family. And was started telling me things, and I had already seen some of those things. I was like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of this family. I don't want this drama. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was that. And after that, I just kind of.
Did you meet this person on the dating app?
Yeah, I met this person on Instagram. She just sent me a message one day and said, hey, I love what you're doing. I love your positive vibe. Maybe one day we can talk. I bet you
had a lot of those messages.
A lot of the, we can share stories. Or a lot of these, oh my God, you're telling my story. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's just, you know what it is? At the end of the day, it's just a cycle. It's just the same. This never ends. The cheating, the divorce, this is never going to end. There's nothing that's, like people don't really care anymore, especially now. Our parents are probably the last generation that's sticking it out to the end. This new generation is so rare.
It is.
It's so rare.
No, I know a few couples like my Nina and Nino. They've been together 50-something years, and then I know one other couple, but everybody else, even my own parents divorced,
Yeah.
you know, just, it's sad. And I always wanted to be the one that was married forever, you know, high
I
school
think
sweethearts.
yeah.
But
That's one thing I'm noticing right now. The whole high school sweetheart thing. I don't know. I don't give it hope. I don't. It's so rare because especially now in this time where there's so much social media, it's like, I mean, I get it. Look, temptation's been around forever. Whatever it, you know, whether it's on the internet, a magazine, whatever.
Right.
But now it's so accessible. You know, like I go to my Instagram, and sometimes I go into the search because you know, like I love collecting shoes. So all the stuff I love comes up, and you always see a lot of females. And it's like, I just keep going. I'm like, okay. And it's the same thing. It's the same.
You keep going because now you have a girlfriend.
Well,
but
no,
when you didn't have a girlfriend.
No, even then though, you can't really find stuff of me liking people. No, because I don't, you know, I don't want to be creepy. So I would look, you know, if I looked at them, I'm like, okay, it's the same thing. It's the same kind of girl doing the same thing. Same pose, same everything. 300,000 followers. I'm like, why are they following this girl? All she's doing is showing bikini, sexy clothes. That's all it is.
She's making money.
That's what it is. It's the same thing. And that's, you know, that's on the females if they want to be like that.
And same thing with males. Because
it's very rare to see a lot of males doing that.
Let me show you. No,
okay, no, I'm just saying. It's like, I look at the same thing. It's the same feed every day.
Yeah.
A bunch of females, a bunch of shoes, and a bunch of funny videos. It's the same feed.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, they're going to get likes because dudes are dudes. It is what it is. But
a lot of what I guess what I'm looking at is, I do see the, you know, the female one, but there's also males that are working out.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
they're promoting and, you know, good and bad or whatever. But I think it goes both ways because especially it's just right now, like you said, social media is huge.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even have to. You could work from home, you know, and post your toes. I mean, people want pictures of your feet.
I mean,
you know,
I don't know if there's any ladies out there who want to look at some construction toes. Sheesh.
Hey,
you know, I mean, is there a market for some crazy ass toes?
There's, you know, the only fan page, whatever, all that stuff. So it's just a crazy world, like you're saying.
I know.
Yeah, it's the apps and, you know, there's a couple apps that I'm currently my family member put me on, but I'm not looking to say, but I am you know, looking into possibly you know, dating again. I have been on a couple of dates and stuff, but two people I met on the dating app, it was a Facebook app. I'm just having fun. You know what I mean?
Okay, have fun. Because I've heard the Facebook app is like the creepiest. Why? Because you pay no fees. Anybody's on there. They're just pulling, you know, you put a couple pictures, you sweet talk yourself, and then.
Right? Yeah. And again, it's not, I come from a small town. I mean, you're obviously where you live, you felt it was small, right? Even though it's bigger probably from where I'm from. So again, traveling is not out of the norm. You know, meeting up halfway.
For me, it was like I met somebody that was in Hemet. I'm like, what the hell's Hemet? And then she said, "Oh, well, we can meet halfway." So I'm like, "Oh, well, look it up. What's halfway?" She said, "Rancho Cucamonga." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, that's an hour or something from me. That's halfway." So I'm like, "Do I want to entertain this?" And then, you know, a lot of these, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm just gonna speak truth.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these times that I went on these dates, it was just because I was bored. I wasn't into the person. I was just like, I'm not doing nothing Saturday. Let me go have a drink and see you. And I think a little bit of it was me being chismoso. Let me try to figure this person out. Like, what's her deal? And you know, you meet these women and you're like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. Everything seems great. What happened? That's when I got caught up in the whole, why would someone cheat on you? But then I started thinking, well, who knows what you did? Well, who knows how you are? You know, you're right here talking up a good game.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, yeah, this happened to me. That happened to me. I do this and I do that. I had nothing to lie about because I know who I am. I'm not, there's nobody that can come out here and say anything that I haven't said about myself. Right, obviously, I'm on social media. I've talked about suicide. I've talked about drugs. I've talked about everything. There's nothing anybody can say about me that I haven't said about myself.
Right.
Because I know one time, somebody asked me, well, what if your ex came over and put a seat, put a chair for her right there?
Oh, I think I did ask her, like, bring her on.
I'm like, she wouldn't, because she's not the kind of person that would, you know, like, she's not going to, what's she going to say? Oh, he worked a lot. Oh, he didn't make enough money. Okay. Yeah. You know, it's like, you wanted a different lifestyle than I did. You wanted to go out and drink and, you know, 24/7. I didn't. End of story. That's the truth. I didn't want to, you know, when I came back to try to fix things, you wanted to keep being the same human being you were. And I was like, fuck that. I don't want to be around this shit no more. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know? And that was it. Simple.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's like some people care about their marriage, some don't care, and that's it. And I noticed that a lot now.
During that time when you're saying that she didn't want to work on your marriage, I think that's probably what people are fighting right now for, is try to work on marriage. And that's why I think you're not anti-marriage. I think
no, it's not that. You know what I noticed is this. Look, if you guys have been married for 20 years, you're gonna tell me you just want to give up, not work on it, but it takes both people. That's what it is. I went out and did everything I did to fix it, but at the same time, I did everything for me. Because, if that wasn't going to work out, I knew that one day I wanted to be with someone else, and I wanted to, be a better version of what I was. Right. If you didn't want to fix yourself, fuck it, whatever. That's you. Go be with whoever you want to be with. And if you want to be that same human being, maybe that person likes that kind of, human being, right, or lifestyle, that situation, whatever. Yeah. Cool. Just stay there. Don't ever come back over here. There's nothing for you here no more. It's dead. So it's dead. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah. So when I started dating, and honestly, it turned out, what I wanted to do was kind of more learn, like, what is this? Because, back in the day, how I met people, or I'm sure, it was at a party. Hey, who's that? Who's that? Oh, that's my cousin. Oh, hey, boom. I think, a lot of people got married that way. Yeah. They met somebody that was it. There was not a lot of choices, right. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was going to be like that this time. Oh, no, it's not like that. Especially during COVID. Oh, yeah. The only way you can meet people was on the apps. Or, yeah. And the only reason I did it was because my best friend put me onto that. And he's like, yeah, check it out. The most that could happen is you meet some people, get to talk, and that cool. And so that kind of started helping me feel better. I would have like 30 conversations going on at one time. And then I remember I got caught up a lot with the whole, you told me that already. You told me that. I'm like, oh my God. Well, so luckily you're not a liar. Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was just like consistent. Right. And then it got to a point where like I got bored on the dating apps because like, oh my God, where are you from? Okay. Oh, well, here's my number if you want. I'm like, dude, I just didn't want to be that. That's what my friends were telling me. You could have had all kinds of, yeah. And then they would all came back right now and been like, for what? Yeah. Did I go sleep around? A little bit I did. I'm not gonna lie, I did. But did I, everything was all, like I always said, it was always consensual. It was always, hey, you know what? Consensual. Yeah. That's good. So I have a question for you, because the situation that I'm in, you kiss somebody for the first time that you haven't kissed, because you were with somebody for so long, you know what I mean? Or even, have, relations or whatever, sleep with them. Mm-hmm. Was it like, I think you had mentioned before, it was just like no feelings, or it was the first time that I was with another human being. Yeah, it's funny I say that. It wasn't an animal. No, you know what I mean? It's like the first time I was with another person. This is crazy. I'm gonna say this. I had like a panic attack because I was with this person and it was very strange. And then there was a part there was like in the darkness, I kind of saw like she resembled my ex. Oh, wow. So, I never cheated on my ex-wife. Right. I never went on nothing. Was I kind of looky-loo? I was guilty of that. I would look around, glance around, whatever. Think, if I saw a female that was like, so that I would admit. And, but I never cheated on her. Mm-hmm. If I ever messaged anybody through Facebook or anything, it was always like an old friend from high school. My ex was a little bit jealous at times. And, I could understand how that would look a little, and, right. and no, whatever. You never cheated. It never went past. Yeah. I never cheated on her. It's funny though. Yeah. That was one of the first things she asked me after the divorce. Like, did you ever cheat on me? And and obviously I found out a lot of things about her now. Mm-hmm. And I always felt like she was just probably asking me to kind of make herself feel better. Cause I'm almost positive she cheated. She cheated during your marriage. Yeah, during our marriage. Cause there was somebody showed me stuff. Somebody told me things, and it just kind of makes sense now. But it's like, whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. So going back to the first time. Yeah. I had to stop. Okay. In the middle of the act because I was like, I can't. I'm sorry. And the girl was like, I understand. I totally understand. Well, you stopped because you I had like that person, or you just like I saw in the darkness. So in the beginning, I kind of found myself trying to, like when I was swiping, always looking at somebody that kind of resembled my ex. It seemed like that's what it was. I like the certain kind of
Type,
hairstyle,
your
you know,
type,
that type.
yeah.
So my buddy goes, you know what you're doing, right? I go, what? He goes, I go, how? He goes, you're not seeing it.
Mhm.
But, and then eventually I was like, all right, no more brunettes, blonde and red hair, crazy hair, whatever. But this person, she was from here, from Ventura, Oxnard. She resembled my ex.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was like I couldn't, and not because I missed my ex, because at that point I was already done, but just because like that. Oh my God, this is so weird. It was weird, and yeah, and after that it was just like whatever. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There was times where I would just wake up and just look over and be like, oh, what did I do? You know, and sometimes it wasn't even enjoyable no more. It was just like, just to do it, just to kind of give me that relief, and that was it. So I was like, yeah, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And then, you know, eventually I stopped and
you were ready.
Yeah, I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I think it was still in my mind, and there was times where I would, you know, catch myself like, am I cheating? I'm like, we can't. You're not cheating. You're already divorced. So it was that attachment still in the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
After that, it just kind of slowly went away, and I just it didn't affect me. Everything came back to normal, I guess, in my body. Yeah. But
well, I think some people, you know, on the dating apps, some are looking to hook up. Just
that's what's funny.
Yeah.
I actually thought these people were, and there was people that were like being honest, like, you know, I mean, if you want to just hook up, it's cool. It was like, you know, I couldn't take somebody serious, and after a one night stand, because I was like, oh, I don't know. I would always like fight with that, like, I don't know if this is, you know, but then I started realizing this is a new normal.
You're okay.
It's a new normal. It's a new normal. It's what people are doing.
Right.
You know, people are hooking up and there's like no strings attached, you know, nothing, and they just move on in life and go and get, you know, engaged and married like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. And it wasn't like that back in the day. It was like, if it was like, yeah, I slept with that girl, she was marked. Or that guy, he's a dog, he was marked.
Right.
People didn't want to be with them. And
dog,
I just didn't want that. I don't want to be like, oh, he's a dog. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of females were, you know, hurt, pissed off or whatever, because I didn't want to proceed with, you know, being in a relationship. And I got a lot of, you know, you're unfixable. You're never going to be happy. I had this female tell me, good luck being in your 50s by yourself. And it's like, well, first of all, I'm not in my 50s. Second, I don't know if I could be by myself. But I was like, damn, why are you so mad? You know, like, you know, it's hard to date females with a bunch of kids and everything, because, you know, you have to get to know all those kids. You have to, you know, I started seeing a lot of like ex-husbands that were just like, already, you know, making it hard. Like, who's this guy? Who I heard your mom met a guy. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't want to deal with that.
Well, it's the same thing for the men too. I mean, a couple of people I've met, they all have kids. You know, my last relationship, he had kids too. And, you know, as far as nowadays, it's really rare to find somebody who doesn't have kids.
I know a few females out there that had no kids, and I'm like, how could you not have kids? Oh, well, I was too busy with my career, and now, okay, cool. Okay, I get it. So there is there is a couple out there, but it's like rare. The percentage is so low.
I have one and she's 13, they're like, you only have one? You know, it's like, well, I would have had more if I could, but a lot of people are surprised you don't have 5, you know. It's like,
but you know, I have noticed that there's a lot of females out there that are still following me, that known me since the beginning, they're still single. And there's a lot of guys that, you know, they'll say it and like, oh man, she's got too many kids. I can't, it's too many. And I think that sucks, because there's a lot of good women out there, you know, no matter how many kids they have. But I think that is what's holding them back from moving on, because there is a lot of guys that are willing to love you and do everything. They just don't want all that, you know, to deal with all that.
Well, then that's not the person for them. Because, you know what I mean?
And that's true. That's true, because there's a lot of guys that will step up and be great dads.
Short guys.
You know, short guys,
medium-sized guy.
Yes, I have a short friend. He's not even short. I don't know. He's just a little bit short.
I want to know how short he is.
He's 5'11". I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh,
I'm getting a lot of
not short.
I know, but he thinks that's what it is. He looks at me, because you're a giant. I'm not that big. I'm not that big. Trust me.
I've never met your friend that you're talking about. But I was thinking.
Yeah, he's cool.
I thought it was. You know, I'm 5'6", and I'm a tall person my whole life. And so when people were responding to your message, you said the other day, your friend being short, I was thinking, you know, 5'1" or something.
No.
And that's, you know, not short, but
you know what's crazy when I was on these dating apps? I think I was like on 3 at one time, and I was like, oh, it became like fun. It just became fun. Let me see what she has to say. And the number one question was always, "Are you really over 6 foot?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Why are they asking me that?" Like,
Yeah.
"Why you ask?" "Oh, it's because a lot of guys lie." I'm like, here we go with the filters.
Yeah.
A lot of girls, they put the filter on, they show up, and I guess a lot of guys show up short. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why would you lie about your height?
Yeah.
Even if let's say I'm really only 6'1", I could say I'm 6'2", I'm still tall. But like, if you're like 5'5" and you're saying you're 6 foot, it's gonna be noticeable.
Yeah. Well, I had that experience.
Oh my God.
Yes, person had said they were like 5'7". I'm like, okay, I don't have to wear heels, whatever, and was not 5'7".
Mm-hmm.
It was like probably 5'4", and that's a big difference. And the same thing, like you're saying, we're gonna meet, and we did FaceTime, but you can't really see their height on FaceTime. Not. But so he was, but to me, I think you had mentioned give the short guys a chance. But to me, the lying about it, the whole
and for me, it was more of a it's just content.
Just be honest.
It's just I'm telling because I had a conversation with my best friend, and this is not the first time he's talked about it, so it's probably bothering him. Or I asked him, listen, you think it's really that? Maybe it's just the way you come across. Maybe it's just you're too picky, because he is too picky. I'm going to put you on blast, Robert. You're picky. He is very picky.
Is picky, or he knows what he wants? Because there's a difference. If picky is like, if you're like, oh, she has brown eyes, and oh, no, she turns to the left too much. I mean, versus
Robert's like,
she's got
to look great in jeans. I'm like, you're an idiot. Come on, man. Like, I don't know. It's not picky. I think it's more of a look. He loves Latinas, thick Latinas. Okay, there's a lot of those around. So I don't know if that's what it is, or he just, I ask him, what's going on? Oh, I had these conversations with them, and then it's like the moment they know how tall I am, it's like it ends. Like, are you sure? Yeah. I'm like, you're not that short. Like all our group of friends are just, maybe obviously I'm the tallest. Maybe one or two are kind of close, but I go, I don't think that me being tall really won these women over. I think the way I talked to them, and I was being honest with them. I even now I still get DMs where on my Facebook I got one recently where it said, "Hey, I want you to meet my daughter," and right away I say, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I have a girlfriend." "Oh, thank you for being honest." I'm like, I'm putting it out there. Why am I gonna lie? So that's the thing that I'm trying to avoid. I don't want people to think that that this is just something I'm just messing with for a little bit. No, this is something serious for me. Right. I'm not, if I'm in a committed relationship, this is who I'm with, and there's no. So that's why, because my girlfriend did tell me, well, these women are crazy sometimes. They can they can screenshot all they want, but I'm being polite and I'm being honest with everybody. I'm not, sometimes I don't even respond just because like the question's so crazy. If you're seeing me, you see where I'm at, or I'm always seeing where I'm at, and you're hitting me up with, "Hey, so where are you from?" I don't even respond to that because I know it's a scam already. I'm like, I'm not even going to entertain it. Yeah. I get a lot of, "Why are you being so rude? Why can't you at least say hello?" I don't even say hello because I know what your angle is here. Yeah. You're either trying to get me in trouble or you're trying to be shady or something. I don't want a part of it.
Well, you have to, look at the other side too, like how you met your girlfriend. You met her on social media too. Yeah. So she probably thinks too, like what she did, maybe some other women are doing to you. So, but you definitely what you're doing, letting the other people that are reaching out to you, hey, I have a girlfriend, I'm taking that's awesome. But maybe some people don't know,
Maybe, yeah. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't feel like I need to respond to that. It's like, whatever.
But you do your posts and you show posting. So if they're watching,
I feel like if they're watching, they'll know. Yeah. And then, but a lot of them have come back, "Oh my God, thank you for being so honest." And I'm like, well, yeah, what are you dealing with? You're dealing with the last scumbag dudes or what? Yes. And guys are guys. There's guys out there that are going to try to go sleep around. I don't give a shit. Yeah. And it's what it is. But yeah.
No, but again, back these dating apps. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a dating app. It can be on TikTok, FaceTime.
Because TikTok did turn into a dating app. It low-key did. I met a lot of females that were like, "Hey, I would like to take you out to tacos." I'm like, "What? All right, I like tacos." And then it turned out to be where they wanted a relationship. Like, oh, no. I'm not using this platform for that. Can you imagine if I did? Yeah. Be out of hand.
Well, I remember back in the day when I started using TikTok, I was like, I'm not going to, I was using it for something else, right? And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, now that we're doing the podcast, a lot of people reach out to me. I have met a lot of good people, men and female friends. And that's how we met. I met you. And, but I think the same time you had just broken up with the last person that you were dating, and I think you were talking to your current one, but I was straight out and I said, let's do the podcast. You know, I'm like, I'm not looking to get into your pants. That's what I said. Do you remember the conversation? And because the fact being is there were men out there that are, you know, I didn't know what you were, you know, looking for either. So I took a chance on this podcast, and you pretty much proven everything that you are. And that's awesome. There's some men that are not, you know, and I've met some men currently that I have talked to, and again, you know, some are looking just to hook up.
Yeah.
And
they're going to try. Everybody's going to try. Females and men are going to try. They're going to shoot their shot. What's the worst that could happen? No. Cool. And that's it. But
you know, if I'm looking for fun, then that's my choice. If not, you know, I know my long term is, you know, definitely to have my, you know, kept saying my king, but I want my emperor, you know, I want to have that, and I will, and it's going to happen.
You will. It's just, you know, you got to be patient.
But as I'm saying that, you know, all these little jokers, no, this came, but,
all you little jokers, fuck out.
But what I'm saying is that you just don't know, you know, and if you go into something with, oh, it's going to be boring, I'm never going to succeed, I'm never going to find anybody, I'm just, oh my gosh, then you're setting yourself up.
That's true. And I'm guilty of being a pessimist. I'm guilty of that. I would always just, this is not going to work. Was it me getting out of it, trying to get out of it easy? I think 9 out of 10 times, I'm like, I would just 5 minutes into the date be like, oh my God, what am I doing here? But I would just sit. I was never the kind of person that, hey, hold on, let me go to the bathroom and just bounce. I can't because I feel like you're going to track me down. You're going to put me on blast. I don't want that drama.
You know what you should have did was that speed dating where it's like literally 5 minutes and you go to the next seat and the next seat.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Somebody told me about that. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not that desperate. I'm like, I don't know if that's desperate, but I don't know.
But you knew within 5 minutes with the date, and then you had to sit a whole hour and spend
I had
money.
one day. I'm gonna tell you one last story. This is the girl with the Victorian dress. That's what I always call her, the girl. It's funny. So I met a girl, chatted up for about a month. No kids, no nothing. She was just, you know, working from home and she was doing her thing, whatever. Finally, I went on a date. First of all, I drove to her city. I don't know what it is about Downey, California. All you girls in Downey, California, you guys, I don't know what's going on over there, but there's something in the water. That was just a joke. So I drove out to her place. She says she's 5 minutes away from the place that we're meeting at. And she's running late. I'm like, how are you running late? Whatever. I wait. I get a table. And she calls me, hey, I'm here. I said, cool. Can you come get me? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm in the parking lot. And I'm like, okay. Well, so I have the table. I have my drink and I have my, you know, I'm just like, okay, let me leave my stuff here. I talked to the waitress. I'm going to leave my stuff here. I'm going to go, you know, pick up my friend. I went out there. She goes, I see you. She goes, oh my God, you are tall. I'm like, all right. So I'm waving. She goes, I'm over here. I'm like, what's wrong? She's across the parking lot. And I walk over there and she goes, okay, I'm going to get out, but you can't look at me. I'm like, what? So I'm already getting freaked out. Like, what is going on? I go, are you all right? She goes, yeah, just don't stare at me.
Oh.
Okay. She gets out and she kind of gets out in a way where, you know, I glanced and I'm like, whoa, you know, she's very well rounded. I don't know if that's so I'm like, okay. She goes, don't look at my ass. I'm like, I'm like, what's wrong? Like, why are you so agitated?
Yeah.
And, you know, she was big in that department.
So big on the top and big on the bottom.
Big on the top, big on the bottom,
okay.
But very short. And I can't tell how her body is because she's wearing this Victorian dress. It is a Victorian dress. I thought she came from a play. I swear to you. So she's just like staring up at me, looking up. And I'm like, all right, well, look, I have a table. Let's go inside. So, and she's just going on and off about how my height. And I'm like, okay.
She couldn't believe how tall you were?
So I go, is that a bad thing? No. It's okay. It's all right. So we go inside. We're having fun. We're trying to have fun. Every time I try to order a drink, she would say, I don't think I should have that. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll have something else. I don't know. Right. Appetizers. I really shouldn't. I'm like, oh my God, I'm already annoyed. 30 minutes into this date, I'm so annoyed. But the good thing that there's football on TV. So like we're like at this kind of sports bar place. So I'm just watching football and you know, she goes, you like that? I'm like, yeah, football? Yeah, no, I don't like it. I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna work.
Girl, it's time to go.
I'm already, it's a Sunday night. You know, I have to work the next day. In my mind, I'm like, oh, whatever. So we didn't even get to dinner. She just wanted to do appetizers. But every time we order an appetizer, she kept saying, I really can't. I really shouldn't. I'm like, why do you keep saying that? Oh, my workout. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, do you want to go somewhere that's a little healthier? I don't know. She's, why are you getting upset? I'm like, no, I'm not getting upset. I'm just like, I just want you to have a good time. And if you're not having a good time here, we can just go somewhere else. She goes, no, that's not it. She just kept looking down. I'm like, there's something going on here. Am I being set up or what is it? Like, I was already getting nervous. Like, who? I was looking at her. First of all, it was her, her face, her body was in it. All her pictures on her social media or wherever on her app, on the dating app, was of her really thin and thick.
Oh.
All the, when the person I met was like,
I mean, when you said she was thick, did she have a thick stomach? Like, was she, okay, pretty much, was she heavy?
she looked like the Kool-Aid man.
The Kool-Aid man. Ay. Okay, I don't know if a lot of people know who the Kool-Aid man is.
Yeah, if you don't know,
but
you have to be old enough. Yeah, if you don't know. But, you know, and I didn't care. She was a nice person, but she was very fluffy. Very beyond fluffy. So I'm thinking, okay, first of all, everything you were showing me, everything you're sending me, it's not the same person. You catfish me. You lie to me. You know? So not only that, I would have even been okay with it if your personality or just your attitude was great. Nothing. She kept saying she hated football. She hated sports. So I'm like, yeah, so we're not gonna go to a Dodger game. And you know, she couldn't eat everything. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I felt like she was
like sabotaging the date
whole thing
before.
on purpose. I'm like, you know, if you don't want to be here, just tell me. So I'm pissed off because one, I have to be a gentleman. I'm gonna pay for dinner or whatever the drinks. Then, and you know, I'm like, I have to drive all the way back to the valley, you know, and I'm gonna be pissed. So I'm like, after that, I stopped doing those kind of, you know, like I wanted to see who you were or get to know you better, what you like, what you didn't like, you know what I mean?
So that just ended that day.
Yeah. So I'm driving down the street. And she calls me. She goes, hey, so I mean, I noticed you were bothered, and I'm like, but you know what? Honestly, it was your fault. I go, I was cool.
Yeah.
I go, but you just were so negative.
Wow.
She goes, I'm not used to dating. My last relationship, this was what I should have known. My last relationship was like about a year with the guy, and he was in Vegas. And I said, well, how did that work? She goes, well, it was like a phone. I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, this girl's got issues.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Recently, she came into my TikToks.
Oh,
so
let me see. No,
so I mean, you know, if you're watching this, sorry, but the good thing is I didn't give your name out, so there you go.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, you guys weren't meant to be.
Yeah,
so,
you know, and that's one thing I got to a point where I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm getting to know people.
Yeah,
even if it's for an experience or even if it was for just a lesson.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, at least you didn't waste 5 years or 10 years, 25 years.
No, and you know what the beauty of it now is that now I see all the red flags. Now I see all the green flags. Now I see everything. I see what I want, what I don't want. And that's what I learned. You know, that's where all this kind of came across, you know, like all this came, you know, this knowledge for this now, just to kind of know what I want or tell people what to look for. What do you know? If you don't want certain things, don't be there because you just feel like it's comfortable.
Right.
Don't be in a relate. I mean, I don't encourage getting a divorce, but now I know that, you know what, sometimes you're with the person because you're just comfortable.
Right.
You know, and if you're okay with that, hey, then you're okay with that. More power to you. But if you want more out of life, well, and it's not going to happen there, then you have to move on. It's just. Well,
take a chance on dating apps or social media. But again, family, whoever, you know, if you're ready to date, just be open-minded. These red flags, you know, don't ignore them. Yeah. Don't ignore those red flags, you know?
Yeah. But I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people want to be in something already. They don't want to be lonely. Yeah. So they ignore them. It's sad, you know? Patience. Yeah. You know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Enjoy yourself while you're doing these dating. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe we'll do a dating game one day. Yeah, one of these days. We'll see you. All right. Well, till then, thank you guys for joining us. And, you know, just let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. We're an open book. Bye. Bye.